What's up, guys? My name is Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed. Join with me today is somebody else who also makes music in my shed. Amateur pool player, Tegan James Pres Washington.
Yo, good to see you, bro. How you doing?
It's almost like we just recorded this episode. Like, I'm getting deja vu right now, bro.
Yeah, I also answered it the same way.
Yeah. So we actually just recorded this entire episode, like, right now. And we had to do it again because I didn't record the screen, and you guys need to see what's happening for this to be a valid episode, which sucks because that means we got to redo everything again, but it's okay though because we want to give you guys the best content possible, right? And if that means sitting here again to do this again, it's what we got to do.
I do this as many times as necessary.
For real. So it's all for you guys. So you know what that means? Rate the podcast 5 stars if you can.
Yeah, please.
You ready to listen to the song?
I'm so ready to listen.
For
dude.
a second time?
I haven't heard this song in a minute, dude.
Yeah. This is no difference.
Although I feel fine and do it on my own, I know I can't lie. Sometimes I feel alone. Right now my phone's shy. I spend my nights at home, picking myself flowers and my garden's grown. I know I got time, just 22 years old. Haven't hit my prime, and I still got my glow. Love is a bad high, but it's one I want most. It's so hard to find it though. Let's be honest, life is just a process of organizing all this nonsense that you have to sort on your own. I always lose 'cause I say that I want it, but I never do. It brings it to the table. I say so, days go, ain't no difference, no. They don't got a clue, they just know that they want it, and I get confused 'cause somehow I'm not able. I say so, days go, ain't no difference, no. I'm not in a rush 'cause I embrace my space. I don't need a crush to fill an empty place, but I know there's a hole, and I'm dying to know. Will it ever go? 'Cause I carry some doubt. The more I try to hope, the more it lets me down, but I want it to fall. 'Cause I can't have it all. But let's be honest, life is just a process of organizing all this nonsense that you have to sort on your own. I always lose 'cause I say that I want it, but I never do. It brings it to the table. I say so, days go, ain't no difference, no. They don't got a clue, they just know that they want it, and I get confused 'cause somehow I'm not able. I say so, days go, ain't no difference, no.
What is love? What's the best way you can explain it? That's it.
Crazy.
That was pretty good, bro. How'd you do that?
Sheesh. It's almost like I sound exactly like the guy in the song, right? Like, that's wild. Any questions, comments, concerns about the song before we dive into the production a second time?
Questions, comments, concerns. Comment. Great production on this. I'm excited to
break it down.
Yeah, to break this joint down.
Sheesh. All right. Well, before we get into the production, I want to mention 2 things. First of all, the vocal mix, or not the vocal mix, what am I talking about? The mix of the song entirely. there's certain parts of the mix where the vocals work with other elements of the song. Anytime I sing, like certain parts, like the guitar lead will go down in volume so that it bounces out, because if not, they're competing for the same space in the mix. And so when I exported the stems, those specific characteristics, those mixing decisions didn't export with the stems, unfortunately. So if it sounds a little different than what you just heard, because what I just played you was the original file, or the exported whole entire project file, that's the reason why it sounds a little different, is because those little elements here and there are just not present. But it's not going to be a huge difference. Like, any listener, average listener, probably not going to really notice anything. But for those that do notice stuff like that, that's why it sounds a little different. The mix, the master, all that. Anyway, number 2 thing I want to mention, indie rock. This is my first indie rock song that I feel like I really wanted to, because like I've been wanting to make an indie rock song before the song came out, and I just hadn't made one. Usually when you want to make something and you try to make it, you don't end up with what you want to make, and so it took a minute to get there, but we have an indie rock song now, which is super dope, because like I've been wanting to make a song like some of the songs I heard from like Coin or like Hippocampus, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And so we got there. We got there, I think, with this song. And because it's indie rock, you think of like bands, because most indie rock songs I feel like have like that band vibe. I'm not saying that all indie rock artists are bands, but a lot of them sound like they could be played by a band. And so with that in mind, I specifically designed the song, quote unquote, to be playable by a band. And so the drums, there's like parts of the drums where if a drummer were to play it, they can actually play it, because when you think about a drummer, they got like drumsticks, 2 hands, 2 feet, but like if you have only 2 hands, 2 feet, you can't be playing like 8 things at the same time, where if you're like, a lot of producers kind of forget about, myself included. So like with this song, I was very aware, or try to be as aware as possible when it came to that stuff. And you'll hear specifically in the drums, we'll get into it, that there are elements that will be removed. I don't know if removed is the right word, but it sounds like you could play it, because there's some things that are only played by 2 hands. Whatever. I think you get what I'm trying to say. I think
absolutely get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
So let's go into these drums.
Wait, really quick though.
Yeah.
On the indie rock thing, have you really tried and gone for like an indie rock song in the past and you didn't like it, or did it just take a different direction?
It took a different direction. Okay. Like I've had songs that like I tried to make indie rock, and then it just goes into a completely different direction, and that's kind of how it works out. I try to make a certain type of vibe, and then that vibe ends up not being the same vibe, but we still get vibes regardless.
Vibes either way. Sounds good.
So let's see the vibes of these drums real quick, shall we?
Let's do it.
So these are the drums in the chorus. I'm going to play the chorus drums, because these drums are very consistent throughout the entire song. There's not really much that changes, besides the fact that like, some hats and stuff will be added in the choruses, and then the verses, it's kind of not stripped down, but like it's really more just like kicks and drums, or kicks and snares. Let's play this. But yeah, so you can hear in moments where like the toms come in, the hi-hats like stop playing, because if you were to have 2 hands and trying to hit the toms and the snare at the same time, you can't hit the hi-hat at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to be aware of that. And so that's how those chorus drums sound like. And like just to give you a brief overview, this is the first verse drums. So just kick and snare. This is the second verse drums. Gets stripped down to just the kick. And then the snare does eventually come in right here. But it's very similar throughout the entire song. So next, we're going to talk about these guitar chords, right?
Ooh.
So this, I feel like, really is like, well, the drums, I mean, this is all indie rock. It all brings the whole thing together. But like, you know, these guitar chords, the guitar is just, it's like vibes. Let's listen to it. So those guitar chords are playing throughout the first verse and the choruses. And on top of those chords, we got something going on. I call it atmospheric guitar. This is a technique that I use in like a lot of songs. You basically just playing the same chords, but elongated and with a lot of reverb to add just like an atmospheric element to the song. And so I layer that over, you know, these guitar chords. And yeah, so it just adds, yeah, like I said, an atmospheric element to the chords. Going from that, we're gonna go talk about the bass. So this is a bass guitar, playing this bass guitar right here. Got some distortion. The distortion gives it a little bit of energy, you know. And the thing about you can hear with like the bass and the guitar, they all follow a very similar, you know, pattern, right? So playing it together. But it adds to that bounce and rhythm, right?
Yeah.
And give it more context. This is how it sounds like with the drums. And you can hear that's basically like a huge chunk of what the song is. You know?
Yeah.
But going back to the whole idea is like that it could be played by a band. Like, you know, if you have guitar, bass, and drums, like boom, that's a band right there. You
Right.
know? And so on top of that, what we have going on over here with with the bass line is with for the pre-chorus. I'll actually go back to the pre-chorus. The bass like softens a little bit, and like we got longer notes, sustained notes. And so to put it in the context with the rest of the song, this is how that sounds like.
Life is just a process of organizing.
Just in case you were curious as to why the bass gets elongated, this is the breakdown section. So we have more drawn out notes for that bass line. And then going into the chorus, to give it even more energy, we overlay a guitar playing the exact same bass line, but it brings it up an octave so that you get, I guess, more of that distortion, energy, sound. And then putting that with the other elements we already talked about. So just, gives it more energy, right?
Yeah.
So on top of all of that, we got another guitar lead going on right here, right? Mm-hmm. This is first introduced in the pre-chorus. I really like it sounds smooth. You know, it's got like all that delay and reverb going on, and it makes it sound smooth, and like just dreamy, echoey, right? So putting it in the context of the pre-chorus.
Life is just a process of organizing all this.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
But going into the chorus, we add more distortion to that guitar lead, and we also bring it up like an octave too, so it's just a lot more energy. And so with the rest of the song, here's how that sounds. And yeah, yep. So besides that, the last few elements, there's only two elements that we haven't talked about or touched on. One that actually adds to the music is the Wurlitzer. Gotta have Wurlitzer.
Got to.
So we got a Wurlitzer for that breakdown. It's a very soft sound, somber sound. I think Wurlitzers are just great for like getting an emotional tone. And so this is the sound we got going on here. And these are different chords than what I play for the verses and the choruses. You got more, I guess, like dissonance, more minor chords in there. So it's a lot sadder of a sound. It brings the energy down a bit, but like in a way that I think makes sense for the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so putting it in the context of everything, I'm going to mute the vocals so you can just hear the instrumental. And there you go. Those are the production elements. Those are the production elements. One more thing though. One last thing. The voice memos.
Yes.
So this is like a little extra accent thing I added to the song. It's a voice memo of me and my little brother. The beginning, I just say like this one sentence.
I'm gonna ask you a deep question.
So that's me talking to my little brother, right, with the producer tag on there. But in the context of the song, I don't know if people catch it the first time around when they listen, but
I'm gonna ask you a deep question.
I'm asking you a deep question. It's not deep, but
Oh gosh.
the question is, did you hear that before me like pointing this out to you?
I think I knew that you were talking. I didn't know what you were saying.
Oh yeah, and that's fine. That's
But I was
fine.
like, I hear, like he's there. I
right,
hear him, for sure.
he's somewhere here.
Yeah, I just don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's fine. Like when I put it in there, I didn't want it to be like I just want it to be kind of like texture more than anything, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure like I think on the music video I do write what I'm saying out on the, you know, the captions and whatever, but I didn't really care if people knew what I was saying or not because it's just like an intro part.
Right.
You know. But we continue that conversation with my little brother at the end of the song right here.
What is love?
I have no idea how to explain it.
He was in the middle of eating.
Explain it.
I have no idea. Someone loves you. There you go.
Is it crazy?
Yeah. So I'm just asking him, you know, what's love? And he's just like, I don't know. It's two people love each other. That's it. That's all.
Sounds about right to me.
Solid.
I don't know how to explain it either.
Solid answer. But when I wrote this song, I wanted it, like at the end of the song, there's like just that, you know, I'll unmute everything so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But without that texture, that voice memo, this is how it sounds like. And it's nice, you know, it's soft, but I feel like it's empty. It needs like something, you know, it needed texture, like I was talking about. And so I wanted to have a voice recording in there of like a conversation with my little brother. That this is a, I guess, manufactured quote unquote conversation. I knew what I wanted to ask my little brother. He didn't know I was recording, but I told him afterwards, and he's fine with it. You know, he likes being in my songs.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get his answer on what love was, because in this song, you know, I talk about love, and like, you know, just like kind of being, I don't want to say pessimistic's the word, but I guess pessimistic. It kind of is the word.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, being
Yeah.
pessimistic about love in this song, and because like kids are more, I would say innocent, and like a little more innocent minded. They got like I feel like it would have been nice to get a genuine answer from him. That was a genuine answer.
Yeah.
You know, and so he was 9 at the time, which was last year, so it's not super long ago. But yeah, that was his answer. I feel like if he was littler, like 5 or so, 6,
Yeah.
he probably could have given me a cuter answer. I was hoping for a cute answer.
Like, all right, so listen, what if you answered the question, but like in a cute way?
Yeah,
though?
right. Yeah, exactly. But he's still cute. He's still awesome. So I kept it in there. And yeah. So that's that though. That's that. Let me look back at these vocals real quick though, because we got some stuff going on in the vocals. So these vocals
And do it on my own. I know I can't lie. Sometimes
got some distortion on there, right? That's something that I noticed with a lot of alternative indie rock music. There's like distorted vocals. I don't know why. I should do some research as to why people do that, like where it came from. I'm assuming. Here's my assumption. I'm assuming that effect, because like you have distortion pedals that you put onto, you plug your guitar into, then you plug into like an amp or whatever, and then you get the distorted sound. So I'm assuming that bands just kind of took like their mics and plugged it into distortion pedals.
Yeah.
And like that's my theory as to why alternative music has distortion. I'm probably right.
I mean, I would bet that you're right. Yeah.
I think that's probably the reason why that it's so popular. Regardless, I wanted to capture that same kind of sound because, like I said, that's what I was going for. I really wanted that indie rock sound.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds cool. I think that distortion sounds cool. And so I added some distortion. I think I'd use saturation to like get that the distorted sound, because saturation tends to, the way saturation works, and this might go over some people's head because this is more like production talk here, but saturation is it takes the harmonics and emphasizes those in audio, right? So like in the signal that's coming into your saturation plugin, if you bring up the saturation, it takes that audio, the signal, and boosts those harmonics. And so the saturation starts to, like, if you put it up really high, it starts to sound distorted, but it's more of a like crispier, I would say, like smoother, less aggressive distortion than like going with like an overdrive or something like that. And so I went with saturation. I think, I don't remember, I have to look back at the mixing, but I've done it before, I know that for sure. And so I think I went with saturation for this, and I think it sounds good. But we removed that saturation coming into the pre-chorus
life is just a process.
because we're like stripping things down. We're getting to a more calmer tone, like a sadder tone. And so if I had the saturation on for that, it would kind of defeat the purpose of that section, which is to bring the energy down a bit.
Right.
But throughout the rest of the song,
Hey,
still
thank
has
you
that.
for putting hats in there, by the way, in the pre-chorus part,
yeah,
because like I get to keep my head nod going and keep going when the beat drops and everything, the drums come back in. I just want to say that.
yeah, and it's important because if it's not in there, you end up with like the outro here, and it's like it's nice. I like that, but that's like definitely an ending thing, because without the hats, you don't get, like you said, the energy. You don't keep the energy. And with a song that's this upbeat, without those hats, the energy's lost. You have to maintain the rhythm somehow.
Right.
And so, boom, hats.
Hats.
But those are the vocals. That's the song. That's the song again.
There it is.
That is the song again, a second time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hope you guys like this song. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Nope. Just want to say I really love this song. Production, super sick. Great job going for indie rock. And I mean, once again, I don't really know indie rock, but in my head, you nailed it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I think. Oh, that was a weird sound. Did you hear that?
I did hear that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry, guys.
Which means they heard it. Yeah.
yeah, my body be weird sometimes.
Me too, bro.
But yeah. So if you guys want early access to my latest releases, feel free to join my email list down below, and you'll get early access to every release before it comes out every month. What time is it?
Uno reverse.
You said that last time.
I know, but they don't know that. Well, I mean, now they do.
It's quote of the week.
Whoa.
Did you like that? That was like the
Whoa.
remix. I never say it like that. All right, bro.
Bro, a remix quote of the week. That's crazy.
What's your quote?
My quote. I got this quote from a I don't want to call him a TikToker because I don't know, but I got it from a TikTok from this dude named Evan with 2 D's. Nobody cares.
Evan with
Oh.
2 D's.
Sorry, not Evan with
Where's
2
the
D's.
D?
Evan, and then there's 2 D's at the end is what I meant to say.
Oh, Evan DD.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's his username, like the handle.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no D's in Evan. That's
Yeah,
my bad.
I was like,
With 2 D's. But yeah, the quote was, "Nobody cares about your business," and he was using it in the context of like businesses selling. As in like when you get in front of somebody and you're just like, "Hey guys, a new product just dropped." Like nobody really gives a shit.
Yeah.
You have to make people care in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But then also the fact of like everybody is so busy in their own world that they're not focusing on you.
Exactly.
So that as well.
Yeah. But since people aren't focusing on you and they're busy in their own world, it gives you the opportunity to take risks, try things out and not have many consequences. Well, I mean, in terms of like the general public, because it's like if you want to promote your business and you think the best way to do it is by making TikToks, but you're afraid of what, people are going to think about your TikToks, if they think they're going to be cringe, if they're going to look goofy, they're going to be goofy. It's like you said, people are focused on their own things. They're in their own world and they don't care about your business, and so they might see your TikTok, and if they actually don't like your business, they're not going to think about it a week from now, you know? However, if you make your TikToks and there's people that do like them, then they're going to start caring about your business.
Mm-hmm.
And more than likely, it's going to be in a good way. Unless your business is a bad business, like in it's like commits crimes. But
Yeah, don't commit crimes, guys.
yeah, we're not in the business of committing crimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, experiment, keep going. Speaking of keeping going, my quote is from Alex Hermosi.
Okay.
He says, if you don't quit, you can't lose.
Facts.
That's facts. Yeah. Because if you don't quit losing, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Right. Yep. Like if you played a video game over and over and over again, eventually you probably win that video game.
Yeah.
You probably beat it. But if you didn't beat it the first time and you quit after that, you're never going to beat it.
Yeah. Then you did lose.
Yeah.
You lost because you left.
Yeah.
But if you don't leave, you just go again.
All it takes is one win to say you're a winner. I came up with that right now on the spot.
It's true, dude.
What did you think of that?
That's good. That's
Yeah?
good. It's true.
Yeah,
It's
that
true.
should have been my quote. That should have been today's quote. I'll save that for next week.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah. I mean, if you want something, keep going. You only lose if you stop.
It's very true. It's
Right.
very true. I've found that to be true in everything that I've worked towards. So yeah.
For real. If you guys look at this guy's Instagram, he has shirtless pictures, and he only got there because he didn't give up. I remember that day he came here, he got oiled up,
Why is he doing this, bro?
and we took his progress pictures, and he was so proud. And I'm proud of you, bro. Good job.
Thank you, bro. Sweaty hands. Sorry about
It's
that.
okay. It's okay. I am too. If you guys enjoy this podcast, feel free to rate it 5 stars anywhere that you listen to your podcast. This has been
Tegan.
and I'm Adriel Rivera, and we
make music.
In my shed.